Preview.
Episode 31, Tommy Stitt, special guest Dave Arbetter from Arbetter's Hot Dogs. What's up, brother?
What's up, Tommy? How you doing, man?
Super excited you're here. We're going to talk a little bit about hot dog history, a little bit about Arbetter's history, but I'm going to do a quick update on the Marlins. Traded pitcher James Hoyt to the LA Angels for cash consideration. And then looks like John Curtis, the righty from the Rays that we got, is going to make the opening day roster. His numbers for spring training, 2.70 ERA and 6 2/3, 9 Ks. So that's going to add some more depth to the bullpen. Let's talk about hot dog history in baseball. So there are a couple stories. There's one story that's about this German immigrant guy, Chris Von Dia.
Right.
I don't even know that I'm pronouncing that right.
1904.
Actually, 1893.
Oh, was
so
it?
he was
Okay.
a bar owner in St. Louis. This is before the Cardinals. They were called the Brown Stockings.
Wow.
Because I guess they wore some brown socks.
They were into the naming things after their socks back then.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the black, the white, the brown. So he sold these Dachshund sausages in his ballpark, 1893. That's one story. However, I think the real story is this other cat, also not a Native American, a Brit that moved to Ohio.
Right.
Harry Stevens, at the Polo Grounds. That was back when it was the New York Giants baseball team.
Right.
And so his deal is same thing, Dachshund dogs. But back in the old days, I mean, they didn't have a whole lot of like newspaper photographers. So it'd be a cartoonist that would draw the depiction, Babe Ruth smashing one out of the park or whatever. So this cartoon guy didn't know how to spell Dachshund. So he's listening to these hawkers, these hot dog hawkers, these vendors out on the street and in the ballpark saying, get your red hot Dachshund right here. And so he ended up coining the term hot dog because the guy couldn't spell.
I know, and he doesn't get any money for it now.
No, nothing.
The
Absolutely
family
nothing.
gets nothing for it. That's the most popular name in the world, hot dog.
Exactly. And the crazy thing about this Harry Stevens, he ended up being one of the biggest concessionaires of modern sports history. Babe Ruth was at his funeral.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so he made a lot of friends.
Well, supposedly Babe Ruth, hot dogs became so popular. First of all, almost everybody likes a hot dog.
Who doesn't?
Even vegans will like the vegan dog.
Exactly.
So everybody likes that, the idea of, the meat, some kind of meat or vegetables inside of that casing.
Right.
It just tastes good. It comes out good, but it's very easy. I think that was the thing with the hot dog. When Stevens or even the other guy supposedly came out with it, that it was just easy to pass along. The one guy, the first guy you mentioned, I guess it was
Chris
the 1890s.
Von Dia.
Yeah, he was selling ice cream and it was cold out, so he's like, "Let me try something else." Yeah,
let me try something else.
And you could wrap a dog out, you could pass it. One guy could grab it to the other guy,
or even if you're sitting at one end of the aisle. And they wrap it up in the foil thing and they pass it down,
Yeah,
it works.
So everybody to this day, people have the wrong idea about dogs, because I have a lot of people say, well, it must be a lot harder to sell them now because people are health conscious.
Right.
Have you looked at America lately?
Right.
Okay.
And you're selling all beef Sabret.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we've about 5 years ago, we added the all beef Sabret. Beautiful dog. I mean, actually, the all beef Sabret dog. And by the way, I could talk hot dogs 24/7. I could talk hot dogs all day. But the all beef Sabret dog was voted the best dog in the United States. They had a national thing. So that's one of the dogs we use. We also use our homemade recipe we've had since the 50s. And
so tell that story, because it's a pretty interesting story about how your mom would get on the bus.
My mom is from Italy. So the recipe that we use for our chili is actually a recipe that her family used to use for Sunday gravy. It wasn't chili. It was like a tomato sauce.
Like a bolognese sauce?
It was like a bolognese sauce, exactly. And she just added some of the, I'm not going to really say what she added. But she added some of the things to make it a chili, but it was literally the exact sauce. You got to remember, in Italy, we're from this town called Arquata del Tronto. It's Ascoli Piceno, this little city that's been there since, before Christ. My family's been
literally before
Christ. My family's been in that town for several thousand years, and that's not made up. So my mom that recipe was what they used. So she had the recipe and she just altered it slightly. And it's pretty simple. The best recipes normally are simple.
Right.
So she altered it, and that's what our chili recipe was. Well, we lived on Westwood Lake, and my dad had his place on Flagler, way down Flagler. So there wasn't many buses, but she'd take my brother in tow. It was older than me. I wasn't even born yet in like 1959, 58. And she would take him with her pot of chili that she made because my dad couldn't cook.
Right.
And she would bring it on the bus and bring it down.
But he could chop onions and
he chopped onions. He was a master hot dog guy. He was unbelievable, but he wasn't a great cook. My mom was the great cook, so it was a good teamwork.
Right. But wasn't that like his childhood dream because he grew up going to places like what was the place
Joe and Ema's.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a doctor. They lived in Saugus, Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. And there was a place there that had been there since 1913. It's called Joe and Nemo's. Joe and his cousin Nemo, Nemo. And they didn't have chili. It was very simple. They had all-around dogs with mustard, onion, relish.
Right.
And my grandfather would take my dad there before the Red Sox games in like 1935, 1936. My dad was little. And it stuck in his mind so much. My grandfather wanted my dad to be a doctor or a lawyer,
Right.
And my dad wanted to be a hot dog vendor.
Right.
And that's all he wanted to do.
Right.
Even when he was in the Korean War, there's a picture of him at a hot dog stand in Korea. I didn't even know they had them.
Right.
And this guy was insane over hot dogs. He loved them. So, it was a big point of contention in my family because, they wanted doctor, lawyer,
but a hot dog kingpin, not just a hot dog cartel.
Yeah, he was like, right, exactly. Yeah, the Cali cartel of hot dogs.
Exactly.
But they would go to that Joe Nemo's. My dad's favorite player back then was Ted Williams. And they'd go to the Red Sox games at Fenway. This is incredible stuff nowadays. To be able to do that. And then he loved that all around dog. And he loved when he would go to this Joe and Nemo's, how busy it was. It was mobbed. And these guys, Joe and Nemo, were tough guys. Back then people were tougher.
Right.
So when my dad first opened Arbetter's in 1958 or 59, he called Joe and Nemo's. He called up the hot dog place. He's like, I'm opening a place down in Miami, and I love your place. I've been going there since the 30s. And could you give me some tips? And the guy literally said, like, F you, go screw yourself, and hung up on him.
Dang.
Yeah. And
that
was like,
be a big letdown.
Well,
you worship that place.
Welcome to the hot dog business, and welcome. That was things back in the 50s, man.
Right.
Not as nice as we are now.
Let's talk about some of the ways you can get a hot dog at Arbetter's, because there are probably a million combinations.
There is over 1.6 million combinations. We finally found the mathematician to do the numbers.
Was he from UM or where was
he? Was from UM. Yeah. So
because I'm pretty sure a UF guy couldn't have figured that out.
No.
Or Florida State for sure.
Yeah, no, not Florida State or UF. No, Of course not. So we got a UM guy. He did it, and we have 1.6 million combinations, and we've added a lot of toppings, over the past 5 years. But I brought some different ones.
All right, because I like to eat them.
Oh, open them up, and you can nibble a bite.
It's going to be like a mini Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are.
I don't know what they are. I'm going to take a look and tell you. Let's see. Okay, that one. Okay, that's a chili. That's our regular chili dog. Just take a nibble off that.
Let me see if I can show that back.
Show everybody.
This is one I have all the time.
Yeah, that's your chili dog. I always say that's the world's best chili dog.
Man.
Look, in this world, you can't be cocky. You have to be humble, but you can't be underconfident. That's why I call it the world's greatest chili dog. I mean it. I truly believe that it is. Now that one is probably going to be a mustard kraut with our regular dog, which is our boiled Arbetter dog we've had since 59.
That on the thing? There we go. Yeah, kind of.
That dog is our recipe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's our standard. Those are our two standards.
Okay.
Now we're going to bring you into the 20th century here.
All right.
These are Sabrett dogs.
My favorite.
Yep. And you're going to have,
let's see what this one is.
That looks like a Miami dog there. See, now you have to
How
really.
Can you tell without even looking in the thing what it is?
I've been doing this so long, man. I've been doing this so long. I could be wrong, though. Maybe let me see. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, are there tomatoes on it?
Yep.
Okay.
It's got the tomatoes.
That's the Miami dog.
And the
okay, so let me show them that dog. That one has fresh chopped tomatoes. It's got it's got mustard on it. It's got it might have a little mayo on it. They're supposed to, but anyways, it's the Soubrette dog, and it's got freshly chopped onions, freshly chopped tomatoes. We chop our onions fresh every day, and then they're supposed to put mayo on it, but they didn't. And then on the very top,
mayo in the bag.
Okay, there's mayo in the bag, and on the very top of it, it has the little potato sticks that are popular down here in Miami.
All right, I'm going to put some mayo on this bad boy right now. Because I'm going to bite it, because I know Denise is going to want to bite it.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
You eat one side, she could have the other side. That's our COVID-friendly. Unreal. So you see the Soubrette dog, the snap. You notice that snap?
Mm-hmm.
So that's,
delicious. All right.
And then this, I'm going to guess, is probably a New York dog. Now, the New York dog is a great dog, too. It's the Soubrette dog. We put mustard on it. We put kraut on it. And then Soubrette makes an onions and red sauce. Oh, yeah, that's it. So tell me what you think of that. That's the Soubrette dog. It's like a grill. Those onions are like grilled in a red sauce. Yeah. And there's sauerkraut on that as well. Really good dog. So those are what we've added in the past 5 years. We've tripled business in the past 5 years. So we're doing well. We're busier probably than we've ever been.
No, look at her. Bring the water.
Yeah. Thank you. You knew he needed something, right?
For sure.
So there you go.
You've also got a couple of dogs named after some people that I know that are really good. Carter Burris dog, the chili and coleslaw.
Coleslaw, the Carter Burris dog. Carter Burris is, you know him well. He's a legend at Columbus. He's a legend in Miami.
He can still out bench press me.
Yeah,
he can. 79 years old.
Carter Burris, he's the funniest guy I've ever met my entire life. He is the best guy you'll ever meet. I go out in the glades with him. He's a doctor. He's a PhD in Florida geography. And so he knows everything there is to know about. You go out in the Everglades with him. He has the best airboat you've ever seen. But we go out there, and Dr. Burris basically is very competitive. So he used to have
especially against younger guys.
Yeah, I digress here. Especially so when he was younger, he used to have this handball tournament, and he made it so if you won the handball tournament, you weren't invited back the next year. He wanted to win the tournament, so he wouldn't invite people who were great.
Good.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Unless they were like over 60.
Right.
Yeah, this one guy, I think his name was Murray. He was one of the best in the world, and he wouldn't invite him until he was 60 years old. But Burris it was so funny the way he did that tournament, but he never won his own tournament. He never won it. But so we had a weightlifting
runner up ever.
He never won it.
Nobody was ever runner up.
He was runner up one year. Yeah. But on his, so we had a weightlifting tournament. So he's 77 now, I think, or 78, and he could bench 250 pounds. It's amazing.
Right.
But still, there were younger guys who could bench like 350. Well, you think they won because they benched 350 and he benched 250? No.
There was a certain kind of weighting.
There was like an algorithm. So he took his age, 78, minus their age. So if they were 20,
and then he added that pounds to his.
Then you have to times that by 10. So they would have to bench 580 if they were 20.
Yeah, he won
every time. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's really funny.
Denise, you got to come over and grab one of these while they're warm. At least take one of them.
Okay, so let me ask you, Tommy, what is your favorite dog there out of all those?
I think it's got to be either the Miami dog or just the straight chili.
The straight chili.
Although this one that I've never had before with the onions and the sauce.
Yeah, they're all good, but they're
all amazing.
Well, I appreciate that.
Carter Burris probably is one of my favorite also. Or you can't go wrong with just mustard, chili, and onions.
Oh no, but the Burris dog though is okay, so when we brought in the Soubrette dog, he called it the grass-fed dog. And so we named it after him. He loved it. But we brought in a Chicago dog, which I was going to bring, but our Chicago dog is as good as it is in Chicago. It's incredible.
That's exactly that leads into the thing, because I was going to talk about famous hot dogs at ballparks.
Okay.
Big league Chicago dog, tomato, onion, pickles, neon relish, sport peppers.
Right.
What else is on there? Celery salt,
poppy seed. The poppy seed bundle. We fly in from Chicago, and all the it's the green neon relish that is from Chicago. You can't use any substitute. We literally fly everything in from Chicago. We get
sport peppers
and everything in big jugs. We put them in our fridge and they last. And we fly them in from Chicago, and also a dill pickle that we slice.
Right.
But so yeah, everything's flown in from Chicago. The Chicago bun, we steam it. And I've had people tell me, and I've been to Chicago many times and have all the dogs at Super Dogs, all the great places.
Yeah.
And
Wrigleyville it is dogs.
Yeah. Well, I didn't go to Wrigley, but look, before we talk about the baseball stadium dogs, I have to mention the Grant Miller dog.
Because it's the smallest hot dog you sell. Isn't it like it's a Vienna sausage?
It's a Vienna. The Grant Miller dog's our jumbo dog.
Right.
And it's the Sabrett jumbo without the natural casing. It's a great dog. People love it. I do truly love it. Then we have the Ted. So you know Ted, right? Yeah. The Ted. The Ted is like an eclectic guy, and he helped me bring in the Sabrett. I had a Sabrett already, but it was not a natural casing because I didn't really know where to get the natural casing. Right. So the Ted, he did help me. So I promised him I'm going to name the dog after you, and it's a popular dog. And ironically, Grant Miller, what dog do you think he orders every time he comes into Arbetter's?
I don't know.
The Ted.
The Ted.
Yeah.
He doesn't even order his own.
He doesn't order his own dog.
That's lame.
What's wrong with that guy? We got to give him a hard time about that.
Here's one thing about Chicago, though, and if you go to, I don't care what hot dog stand you go to, if you order ketchup on a hot dog, you will be thrown out. You will be going to the back of the line.
I'm not even kidding
ketchup
you.
Never.
You might get the living crap beat out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Chicago, New York is a hot dog town. The king of the New York, I hate to mention their name, but there's two. There's Nathan's and there's Sabrett's.
Right.
And they're both the kings. I mean, Sabrett's been around longer than Nathan's, believe it or not. Sabrett's been around forever. But so we went with the Sabrett dog. And, the Nathan's dogs, they have one at Miami Marlin Parks, but it's sort of their cheaper dog. It's not the greatest,
Right.
But okay, so the best dogs at ballparks in the country are supposedly the Fenway dog, which is made by
Fenway Frank.
Kayem, Kayem.
I don't use that weird New England bun where the crust is cut off the side.
I've had it at Arbetter's. I might even bring it back. It's an incredible bun. It's a New England bun. The crust is cut off on the side. It's white on the side. Right. You could butter it and grill it, and it's incredible. You could steam it, and it's unbelievable.
But isn't that the same roll they use like on a lobster roll?
It's the same one they use on the lobster roll. Exactly. Yeah, You're right, Tommy. And then, so that's a great bun. I brought it into Arbetter's, and it was great, but people just didn't know it down here, so they didn't really, take to it. But I might bring it back for some special dog. But I'm not a big fan of that Kayem dog, the Fenway Frank. I just don't think it's that great.
Right.
People do rave about it, but I mean, if you have it, try it and tell me what you think. I'm not a big fan of it. My favorite dog that I've been to is the Dodger dog.
That's one of the ones I got on my list.
Yeah, the Dodger dog's it's a foot long.
Yeah.
It's a really good dog. Yeah. I don't even know what dog. I don't know who makes a dog. Mustard and relish on there.
It's got that same snap to it.
It's got a snap to it. And out of every dog that I've had, I think that one is the best. I like it better than the Nathan's. I like our Sabrett the best, but I don't know of any stadium that's selling the Sabretts.
And then I saw where they got another version of the Dodger dog called Hawaiian Barbecue Dodger Dog that's pulled pork and pineapple barbecue sauce.
They're West Coast, so Hawaii is.
And one of those, those King's buns, the sweet.
I love that
Hawaiian
bun. I love that bun. We've served that bun at Arbetter's, and actually, that bun is something I'm thinking about adding too. Also, we won the Wiener Bash, which was best dog in the state of Florida a few years back, and we won it with a it was like that King style bun, but it was it wasn't exactly it, but it was like that King.
That's
style.
A huge accomplishment to say to anybody. I won the Wiener Bash.
I won the Wiener Bash. Yeah. It could scare guys too. Yeah. They just hear that name and they they freeze.
Exactly. So here's one of the craziest ones, and I didn't even realize this existed. This is at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. It's called the Cracker Jack and Mac Dog. So they got a foot-long beef hot dog,
right,
covered in mac and cheese, salted caramel drizzle sauce on there,
right,
deep fried jalapenos, and then Cracker Jack.
That's an awesome dog. I'm a purist though,
right?
So
that's eclectic.
The foo dogs, if I brought foo dogs into Arbetter's, people would get pissed off at me,
right?
Because they would say, that's the the new chic and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
that do that kind of weird stuff.
There are places that do it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I might even maybe at some point add something like that. But Pittsburgh is famous for dogs. They have what's called the O. It went out of business during the pandemic, and it was called the O. It stands for the original. And they had great dogs there. They had like snap dogs, and they had incredible fries that they'd make fresh, really good. And they'd give you like an order of fries like we do at Arbiter's, really big. But that place went out of business. That's in Pittsburgh. And of course, they have that sandwich shop there that they pile fries on.
Permani Brothers.
Permani Brothers, which they have in Fort Lauderdale too. There's two of them there. So it's really
all right.
good.
Here's another one, and this one is not one of my favorites because I don't like Skyline chili. Is the Coney at Cincinnati?
Yeah,
and it's got like that chili has got like cinnamon and some sweet like dark chocolate or something in there that makes it not taste like chili to me.
Yeah, it's a Greek. They're Greeks. All the Coneys are all owned by Greeks. The Greeks are good chefs like Italians, but they have their own style. And they did add that like cinnamon, which gives it a very strange taste.
Right.
I do personally really like the Skyline. They had one in Fort Lauderdale forever. Went out of business recently. There's another one in Sunrise.
Okay.
That's good.
They put it on spaghetti.
Well, here's the thing. Arbetters, we make the best. They call that chili mac. Yeah. We make the best chili mac in the world. If I could add that, I'm working on adding that at Arbetters, believe it or not. Spaghetti, chili, cheddar cheese, freshly shredded. That's piled on. That's shredded.
Chopped onions on
super
top.
light. Chopped onions. You could add beans to it. They call it, 2-way, 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, depending what you add on there. Right. But the Cincinnati Skyline chili is great. But I'm telling you, I have it probably once a month at my house. The Arbetters chili mac it's the best in the world. It's incredible. Awesome. And if I could add that. I
can't wait to try it.
Yeah. And I'll make it for you one day. You tell me what you think. And, it's really good. I told the Ted, I've been telling him about, I might add that. And he's like, teases me a little bit because I don't know if he thinks it would go down here. It probably wouldn't. Well, actually it would because Skyline had it.
Yeah.
But, Skyline's Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale and South Miami are totally different.
Totally different places.
Different places.
Another good one, and it has to do with the fact that this chili place, it's called Ben's Chili in DC.
Right.
Very famous chili place, but also famous for their half smokes. So it's half beef, half pork, and then they smoke that sausage or hot dog. And then they put the chili, cheddar cheese, and onions on it. That place is the bomb.
Sell that chili at the Washington National Stadium. Yeah. Really good. Great place. Ben's Chili. I would like to actually get along with them. I would like to fly up there, bring our chili. I might even call them. Yeah. I think I might do that.
You might get the same thing your old man did from the guys up at Nemo's, though.
Right. Well, yeah. We probably would.
I'm pretty sure.
If we lose, they could spank me.
Okay. You mean like bare ass spanked?
Well,
like
whatever.
In Macy's window?
Probably not the bare ass, but
right.
But we'll do like a spanking when we were younger. Now they don't do that.
Right.
But we used to get spanked when we were younger.
Bring that back, actually.
Yeah, maybe we should. Maybe we should probably save the world.
I think we're just got banned from Facebook right now.
But but Ben's Chili is good. Again, I think Arbetters. Look, you can't be in this business. You can't be me. I'm humble. You got to be humble, but you have to be super confident.
Yeah.
You have to come out and say, I do believe, and I truly believe this from the bottom of my heart, that our chili is the best chili in the entire world.
I agree with that. And every time I'm over there with Grant, I have to have some.
Yeah.
And I get it on a hot dog every time.
I wonder if Grant would even enjoy the spanking. If he, maybe Grant could come up with me.
Yeah.
Maybe you could come up with me too. You film
spanking, even if you win.
Right. Exactly. Either way.
That would be hilarious.
But I would love to go and compete against them. Specifically.
They got really good chili.
Yeah. Ben's is good.
Been there forever.
Yeah.
So let's talk about they do have a couple hot dog places in Marlins Park besides the Nathan's deal.
Right.
There's La Pepa. And if you're Mexican, that means something else. So
yeah.
Mexican brothers.
Well,
I'm not talking about La Pepa.
Can I tell my Marlins Park story?
Sure.
So Marlins really.
Is this going to prevent me from ever getting an interview with Derek Jeter?
It could.
Okay.
It could.
Go ahead and tell it.
I don't know how honest I should be here, but I'll try to be as honest as possible.
Yeah, just leave out like the expletives.
So there's Adam Jones. He's like the VP now, but there was at the time there was Chip Bauer. Mm-hmm. He was the vice president. He came from the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
So he came over to Arbetters. Look, we want Arbetters really bad. So we'll do whatever we got to do.
Want it?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want it?
They brought me in. They brought me down to the field. You know, they sort of schmoozed me a little bit down there. And I was like, look, I'd love to be in here, but I'm not going to just come in for 1 year and then have you guys like, you know, kick me out after a year, maybe. You know, I'm not saying I love the Marlins.
You have to bring in staff. You have to.
Right. It's a lot of work, man.
Truck all the stuff over there.
Yeah.
And set up.
And then I'm like, well, what about, could we bring our chili in? They're like, we don't even know, you know? And I'm like, and plus they're going to crank the price up to $6, $7, $8 a dog. That's what they do in these stadiums.
And then the people are going to come back to your restaurant and be like,
why are you
charging so much?
Exactly. Plus they're going to, if they don't let I mean, you could do it where you cook the stuff, blah, blah, blah. But really, the deal's better if you let Levy Foods do it. They're in there, and sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't. But so, you know, we were afraid that people were going to give us bad reviews, which I'm insane over not getting it.
Right.
You know, we're you know, top 10% of all reviews in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, over 8,000 restaurants, and we're really top 5% of best reviews. So I'm serious about those reviews. I don't want bad ones. So, but anyway, so they came in and we had a long talk. And I came in, the Ted was there. I had another friend of mine, and we went into the offices in Marlins Stadium and we started negotiating. And they were like, we're like, look, don't even talk to me unless we do a 10-year deal.
Right.
Now, really, I probably would have done a 5-year deal. Okay.
Right.
But they just like ignored it. And they just said, okay, we're listening to you. We're going to offer you a 1-year deal. And I'm like, wait a second. Are you listening to us?
Right. No one was negotiating.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So anyways, make a long story short, it didn't work out. And it was probably the best non-move that I've ever made.
Right.
Because I'm about building Arbitter's brand. Right. And I don't want to.
You can't control the consistency because that's one thing about Arbitter's. Yeah. Is if I get to have a chili dog today or have a chili dog a month from now, it's going to be exactly the same. Exactly the same. Yeah. You got it. It's about consistency. And that's what the restaurant business is about. Don't forget. Guys had your dog or something that they've had that they love 20 years ago. They have the taste in their mind. It's in their mind at this point, and they come in, it better be the same. So, right, exactly. Yeah. All right, so I think we've covered hot dogs. We covered baseball. A lot. We covered the history of Arbetters. We covered the history of baseball and hot dogs.
Yeah, and anytime you want to talk hot dogs, I could go for hours. Come on with
me, brother.
Yeah, I can go for hours.
All right, so.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Grant Miller. There he's
Where's he at? Where's he at?
He's on the chat right there.
Oh, is he really? Okay, let's see.
I love Arbetters. I love Arbetters.
I love it. Hey, Grant, how come you got to start ordering the Grant Miller dog instead of the Ted?
It makes no sense that you don't even like the dog.
And Michael Miller's still got to tell his Arbetter story that he's told a bunch of times.
Right.
But it's the best story ever.
Maybe on the next show.
Yeah, the next show. Michael, you got to tell it. Okay.
All right, Marlins Nation. We're out. Episode 30.
Preview.